everyone, it's me again, the crazy lady, Angela Harris, and this is my second speech of the semester for English 132. And again, I'm going to try to do it on one take, but we'll see. So the speech is going to be on Isabel Allande's The House of the Spirits. Well, okay, so not as spooky or even as far-fetched as I thought it would be just by the title alone. But overall, I thought it was a really good read. For this speech, we're asked to discuss the author's use of multiple voices telling us the story within the book. Okay, so throughout the book, I got the sense that someone was telling us a story that had already happened. I don't know, it was somehow more than just us reading about different generations and their lives. And it felt more as if someone was reflecting on the past, if that makes any sense. I guess what I mean is because of the extreme detail in the author's writing. Okay, so many books are descriptive, but in a lot of the book, there seemed to be more of a dissection of the story, and maybe that was because we're getting different perspectives from different narrators. It seemed to take the story to some kind of almost to a different level. Now, when thinking about who I believe most, I'm not exactly sure who I believe, what narrator I believe more in the book. The omniscient narrator seems to be a no-brainer just because of the lack of bias and since they're all seeing and all knowing. But I feel that Alba and Esteban are in fact believable. Sure, they both tell their side of the stories to make themselves look good. Who wouldn't? And Esteban more than Alba. He tells more his side of the story, a story where he does no wrong. But at the same time, just like the quote that I added in the discussion board this week, we don't really realize what we're doing at the time that we're doing it. Even though he's evil, especially in his youth, we don't always know how our actions are gonna affect others at the time we're making these decisions. So here's where the whole hindsight is 20/20 thing comes into play. Now, I've heard this my whole life, and when I thought about using it in the speech, I wanted to make sure I was using it in the right context, so I Googled it. And according to phrasemix.com, when people use this phrase, hindsight is 20/20, they usually use it to express one of these two ideas. Number one, you shouldn't worry about your past because you can't go back and change it now. And number two, don't criticize what I did because I made the best decision I could at the time. Now, I feel like the first one has more of a flippy feel to it, so I'm going to stick with the second one. I made the best decision I could at the time. Now, I'm not making excuses for Esteban by any means. Don't get me wrong. His, let's say, what would you call it? Asinine behavior with his youth, with the raping, and it's frustrating. Yeah, so let's just say his youth. I'm not making excuses for him by any means, but if we take a step back and think of the reasons why he did those things, could it possibly be the only way he knew how to gain control and therefore power? And with this control and power, he would be respected? I think that's all he knew. I think so. I think it's possible. Now, as we see him get older, and after his mother passes away, he marries Clara, starts a family of his own with Clara. I feel that Esteban believed that he was doing what was best for his family, even if that was being a dictator in every aspect of his life, including when it came to raising his children. As many of us know, a strong arm and fist it's not always the answer. But later in life, we see Esteban realizing that his actions and a lot of them cause turmoil within his family. And many of us, when we get older, we end up regretting our transgressions from our youth. And I think it's just a normal way of life. We all regret something. Now, when it comes to the narrators changing back and forth, okay, even though this gets a little confusing at first, and actually after every time the storytellers change, it takes me a minute to realize, oh wait, this is Esteban, or oh wait, this is Alba talking now. Because there's not really a lot of dialogue or back and forth between the characters in the book. It has the different voices telling the story. I feel as though this effect gives the readers reasoning why, or justification as to why certain things are happening. It gives more of a well-rounded feel to the book. Now, when it comes to Alba's telling of the story, yes, she is more believable than Esteban. Now, I think this may be because she's a likable character. We read about her from birth, and she seems to have a good soul. I don't know. Maybe somebody else might have a different take on this. Maybe someone who's pure evil would think that Alba's just a goody two-shoes and believe Esteban more because they admire what he does, what is his power. I don't know. It's all up for interpretation. So anyway, that's my take on the author's use of multiple voices within the House of the Spirits. Anyways, have a good semester, guys. Bye.